Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game, and proceeding. And here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And here we are in the edit deck menu. And now today's deck profile video. The deck I'm going to be making one for is a Keter Sanctuaries, Sword Saint Night Dragon, Gramgrace, D-BT05. So first, let's go to this empty slot here and create a new deck. And selecting Nation, selecting Keter Sanctuary. Here we are. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building today's deck profile video is a Keter Sanctuaries, Sword Saint Night Dragon, Gramgrace deck made with cards only available up until D-BT05. Alright, let's begin. So first, the filter settings, selecting packs. Only show cards available from D-BT1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT2, A Brush of the Legends, D-BT3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT5, Triumphant Return of the Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, and promo pack number 1, apply filter. Alright, here we are. So first up, the grade 3 lineup. For the grade 3 this deck we're playing the Ride deck, grade 3, Sword Saint Night Dragon, Gramgrace, skills for skill, continuous as a Vanguard. Your Persona Ride also increases the power of your back row units. Second skill, action as a Vanguard, once per turn, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. If the cost from hate, draw a card, choose a card from your hand and call to the back row center rearguard circle, and this will end of turn. That unit can attack from the back row and gets plus 10,000 power. And the third skill, auto as a Vanguard. At the end of the battle, your back row center rearguard attacked, put that unit into your soul, draw a card. So for Gramgrace, it's the main grade 3 to ride this deck. Its skills, the first skill, when you Persona ride Gramgrace, not only does your front row get the usual plus 10,000 power, but now with Gramgrace, your back row also gets the boost of 10,000 power. So for this first skill, just by Persona riding Gramgrace, all units in your field will get plus 10,000 power, making it easier to pressure or potentially finish off your opponent with the increased power. And the second skill, by paying the cost of Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, not only can you draw a card, but you can superior call one card from your hand to the back row center rearguard circle. And for that turn, the superior called card can attack from the back row and gets plus 10,000 power. So for the second skill, it's not only a good way to increase your hand size by using the skill to draw a card, but also you can get a potential 4th attacker from the back row center rearguard circle just by using Gramgrace's skill to superior call it and give it the ability to attack from the back row an additional 10,000 power, making it easier to pressure or finish off your opponents with the increased number of attacks you can make in that turn. And the third skill, auto as Vanguard. At the end of the battle that your back row center rearguard attacked, you can put that unit into your soul and draw a card. So for this third skill, it combos with the second skill. After the rearguard that was called by your second skill finishes attack, you have to move it to your soul and draw a card. So for this third skill, it's a good way to not only restock your soul for later soul blast, but to also increase your hand by drawing more cards. So for Sword Saint Night Dragon Gramgrace, we're putting 4 in the deck, putting 1 in the right deck. Okay, next up, the grade 3. The grade 3, Grand Heavenly Sword Alden, skills for skill auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, Counterblast 2 and Soul Blast 1. If the cost from hate, choose a card from your hand and call to rearguard circle. If you call the grade 3, draw 2 cards. Second skill, auto as a rearguard. When this unit attacks, if you have 3 or more grade 3 units, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Alden, it's a pretty good card to play in your Keter Sanctuary decks. Its first skill, just by calling to the rearguard circle, if you can pay the cost, you can superior call any card from your hand to the rearguard. And if a grade 3 was called by the first skill, you'll be able to draw 2 cards. So for this first skill, it's a good way to not only increase your hand size just by calling a grade 3 with this first skill. And the second skill, whenever your rearguard Alden attacks, if you've got 3 or more grade 3s in your field, Vanguard and rearguard included, it gets plus 5,000 power. So for this second skill, it can turn your Alden into a potential 18,000 point attacker. So for Grand Heavenly Sword Alden, we're putting 2 in the deck. Next up, the grade 3, Knight of War damage, Fasado, skills for skill, continuous as a rearguard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. And second skill, auto, it's a rear guard. When this unit attack hits, counter charge 1, soul charge 1. So for Fasado, it's a pretty good card to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Its first skill, it cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. So this first skill is kind of like a some sort of resist ability to be used against your opponent. Just by having Fasado in your rear guard, that Fasado cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, protecting it from being retired, bound, return to deck, return to hand, or locked, or any other skills that target your rear guards, thus securing you Fasado in your rear guard nearly all time. Any second skill, whenever your rear guard Fasado lands an attack on either your opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you can counter charge 1, soul charge 1. So for the second skill, it's a good way to not only refund your counter blast for later skills, but to also stock up your soul for later soul blast. So for Knight of War damage Fasado, we're putting 4 in the deck. Okay, next up, the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s of this deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 2, Blaster Dart, skills for skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard or rearguard circles, cost, counterblast 1, retire another rear guard. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And this unit gets drive +1 until end of turn. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if your rear guard is retired this turn, this unit gets +5,000 power. So for Blaster Dart, it's the main Grade 2 to ride this deck. The first skill, when ridden or called, by paying the cost of counterblasting 1 and retreating 1 of your own rear guards, not only can you retire 1 of your opponent's rear guards, but to also give your Vanguard Blaster Dart +1 drive. So for this first skill, as long as you can meet the cost, it's a good way to not only wipe out your opponent's rear guards, but to also give your Vanguard Blaster Dart twin drive to increase the chances of pressuring your opponent by drawing more cards from the drive check and to potentially get triggers. And the second skill, during your turn, if a rear guard is retired, you can on your field you can give him +5,000 power. So for the second skill, as long as you can meet the conditions, Blaster Dart can serve as a potential 15,000 point attacker from the rear guard. So for Blaster Dart, we're putting 1 in the deck, playing in the right deck. Next up, the Grade 2, Drilling Angel, skill, auto, when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, cost, put a unit from your drop zone to your soul. If the cost is paid, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card the same card name as the card put into your soul for this cost from among them and call them to the rearguard circle, shuffle your deck. So for Drilling Angel, it's a pretty decent card to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Its skill, just by calling to the rear guard, you can put any card from your drop zone to your soul. Then if you have the chance to check the top 3 cards of your deck, if another copy of the card that was placed in your soul was revealed by the skill, you can call that card to your rear guard. So for Drilling Angel, not only is it a good way to restock your soul for later soul blast, but also potentially secure you another rear guard to either attack with or boost with, or to activate a specific skill you wish to use if you can superior call that specific rear guard. And so for Drilling Angel, we're putting 4 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 2, Atrocious, Moth Girl, Maple, skills for skill, auto from the drop zone. When your Grade 3 or greater Vanguard is placed during the ride phase, if you do not have a unit with Maple in this card name, you may call this card to the rearguard circle. If there are 2 copies of this card in the drop zone, you can only call 1. Second skill, Glitter, Thiagra, active if your Vanguard is a Glitter with Thiagra in its card name. Auto as a regard. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, Soul Blast 1 or more cards. If the cost is paid, choose a card from your soul with the same grade as the sum of the grades of the cards Soul Blasted for this cost and put into your hand. Put this unit into your soul. So for Maple, it's a hybrid card of Keter Sanctuary and Stoichia Nations. It's a pretty helpful card to play in your Gramgrace deck. The first skill, whenever you ride a Grade 3 or greater Vanguard during the ride phase, if you have no Maple cards in your rear guard, you can superior call at least 1 Maple from your drop zone to the rear guard, securing yourself a potential 10,000 point attacker from the front row with Maple when called by her own skill. And the second skill can only be activated when your Vanguard's Thiagra, so not going to explain the skill, just skipping ahead. For Atrocious, Moth Girl, Maple, we're playing 1. Okay, next up, the Grade 2, Knight of Loyalty, Bedivere, skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle from hand, if your Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, cost, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. If the cost is paid, search your deck for up to 1 Knight of Friendship K, call to rearguard in the same column as this unit, shuffle your deck. So for Bedivere, it's a pretty good card to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Its skill, just by calling from the hand while your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, by paying the cost, you can superior call a grade 1 Knight of Friendship Cane from your deck to the same column as Bedivere, so thus securing you a booster to boost your front row Bedivere for your upcoming attacks. So for Knight of Loyalty Bedivere, we're putting 4 in the deck, okay? And now for the grade 1 lineup, for the grade 1s of this deck, we're playing for the Ride deck, grade 1, Little Sage Marin, skills for skill, auto. When this unit is written upon by a grade 2 with Blaster in its card name, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 with Blaster in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you do not reveal a card, choose a Vanguard Brave from your soul and call it to rear guard circle. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if you have 3 or more units, this unit gets plus 2,000 power. So for Little Sage Marin, it's the main grade 1 to ride this deck. Its first skill, when you ride a grade 2 Blaster card on top of it, you have the chance to check the top 7 cards of your deck for a grade 2 Blaster to add to your hand. And if no Blasters are revealed by the skill, you can instead superior call your grade 0 Vanguard Brave from the soul to the rear guard. So for this first skill, just by riding a grade 2 Blaster, you have the chance to either get another grade 2 Blaster from the top of your deck, or to superior call Vanguard Brave from the soul to the rear guard to serve as a booster from the back row. And the second skill, during your turn, if you have 3 more units, this unit gets 2,000 power. So for the second skill, as long as you meet the conditions, Marin can serve as a potential 10,000 point attacker from the front row or 10,000 point booster from the back row. So for Little Sage Marin, we're putting 1 in the deck, putting in the right deck. Next up, we're putting in, for grade 1s, the grade 1, Painkiller Angel, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, Soul Blast 1, retire this unit. If the cost is paid, draw a card. So for Painkiller Angel, it's a pretty good card to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. For skill, after boosting the attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind paying the cost of Soul Blasting 1 and retreating Painkiller from your rear guard, you can draw a card. So for the skill, it's a good way to increase your hand size for the upcoming next turn, for either your opponent's turn to guard with or for your next turn to attack with. So for Painkiller Angel, we're putting 4 in the deck. Next up, the grade 1, Aegis Mare Dragon, skills for skill, Continuous Sentinel. Second, you may have only up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel on deck. Second skill, auto, when this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, choose 1 of your units. It cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from hand and discard it. So for Aegis Mare Dragon, it's a perfect guard for the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discard a card from your hand, you can block 1 enemy attack, but it also features an ability unique to all D standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to make the usual discard 1 cost, making it a no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Aegis Mare Dragon, we're putting 4 in the deck. Okay, next up, the grade 1, Knight of Friendship K, skill, continuous as a rear guard. During the battle, this unit boosted Knight of Loyalty Bedivere. This unit gets plus 5,000 power. So for K, it's more or less a support card for the grade 2 Knight of Loyalty Bedivere. While boosting from the back row to your Knight of Loyalty Bedivere, K gets plus 5,000 power, making K a 13,000 point booster for the Knight of Loyalty Bedivere. So for Knight of Friendship K, we're putting 4 in the deck, okay? And now for the grade 0 lineup. For the grade 0s of this deck, we're playing Ride deck, grade 0, Vanguard Brave, skill, auto. When this unit is written upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Vanguard Brave, it's the starting unit of this deck. Its skill, when you ride on top of it, if you're the second to go, draw a card. So for Vanguard Brave, putting 1 in the deck, putting in the right deck, okay? And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing the grade 0. The grade 0, Blade Petter Dragon, critical trigger, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose 1 of your units. It gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Blade Petter Dragon, it's a pretty powerful critical trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Its skill, after boosting an attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, As long as you don't mind moving Blade Petter from your rear guard into your soul, you can choose one unit on your field, Vanguard or rear guard, and give it plus 2000 power. So for Blade Petter skill, it's a good way to not only restock your soul for later soul blast, but to also give your remaining attackers on the field a little extra power to work with. So for Blade Petter Dragon, putting 4 in the deck. Okay, next up, the Grade 0 Knight of Heavenly Hammer Gurgit, critical trigger, putting 3 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0 Bard of Heavenly Song, Alpak, front trigger, skill continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5000 power. So for Bard of Heavenly Song, Alpak, she's a pretty powerful front trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. For skill, when used to guard with while your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5000 shield, making her a potential 20,000 point shield all on her own. So for Alpak, we're playing 4 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0 Invigorate Sage, heal trigger, skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active in this battle if it is its second attack this turn or more. So for Invigorate Sage is a pretty powerful heal trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Its skill, when used to guard against an attacking unit who is now attacking twice or more on that turn, your Invigorate Sage gets plus 15,000 shield for that battle, making Invigorate Sage a potential 25,000 point shield all on its own. So for Invigorate Sage, you're putting 2 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0 Healer of Heavenly Staff, Archus, heal trigger, putting 2 in the deck. And last but not least, the Grade 0 Light Dragon, Deity of Honors, Amritonia, over trigger, skill, trigger, additional effect. Until end of turn, you also perform drive checks for the battle your rearguard's attack. So for Amritonia, it's a over trigger for the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card, but it also features a skill unique to it alone. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, until the end of the turn, all of your attacking rear guards will get drive checks as well. So for Amritonia, it's a very powerful over trigger to reveal during your turn. For just by revealing it, for all of your rear guards can also drive check, increasing the chances of finishing off your opponent by potentially getting a trigger or to fortify your defenses for your upcoming defense against your opponent by increasing your hand with more cards from the increased drive checks. So for Amritonia, we're putting 1 in the deck. Alright, deck has been built, card effects explained. Now let's just save the deck. Alright, so the cards in this deck, we're playing 2 Grade 3 Grand Heavenly Sword Alden, 4 Grade 3 Knight of War Damage Fasado, 4 Grade 3 Sword State Night Dragon Gramgrace, 1 Grade 2 Blaster Dart, 4 Grade 2 Drilling Angel, 1 Grade 1 Atrocious Moth Girl Maple, 4 Grade 2 Knight of Loyalty Bedivere, 4 Grade 1 Painkiller Angel, 4 Grade 1 Aegismere Dragon, 4 Grade 1 Knight of Friendship K, 1 Grade 1 Little Sage Marin, 1 Grade 0 Wingdoll Brave, start a unit. And for the triggers of this deck, we're playing 7 critical triggers, 4 front triggers, 4 heal triggers, and 1 over trigger, Amritonia. Alright, deck's been built, cards displaying. Now before we get on to testing out the deck, let's just rename the deck, change deck name, rename the deck. Rename it Gramgrace. Gramgrace, okay, deck named. And now, changing sleeves. For the sleeves in this deck we're playing, let's see. First, for the main deck sleeves, we're going to be using the Keter Sanctuary Nation sleeves with the main deck sleeve, press A. And for the right deck sleeves, we're playing the Team Setsugetsuka sleeves for the right deck sleeve, press Y, alright. Alright, decks been built, card is explained, card sleeves change, and deck renamed. So let's get on testing out the deck. So leaving the edit deck menu, return to main menu, going to fight menu, selecting CPU fight, selecting the deck I just built, the Sword State Night Dragon Gramgrace D-BT05 deck. Alright, selecting deck, and now choosing opponent. Alright, who would be a good opponent to use this deck out on? Let's see. Who would be a good opponent to try this deck out on? Tough choice. Alright, I'm going up against Tatsuki Bunkyo, normal difficulty. And the battle begins to get started. And here we are, deciding who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to scissors, I lose, going second. Alright. Drawing our starting hands. I got 2 painkillers, a blade fetter, a K, and a drilling angel. Okay, let's see. I should hold on to painkiller to use its skill to draw more cards, and drilling angel to increase my soul to potentially call new cards. So I guess I could use either pain or painkiller for the right deck cost. So I'll just return 1 critical to my deck, redraw, perfect guard, not bad. Stand up the Vanguard. I got my opponent's going to go first. He's going to ride in the Calm Streets Chaos. End of turn, my turn, I draw, critical trigger, okay. I ride for my right deck, Little Sage Marin for the right deck cost. Let's see. I guess I'll discard K from my hand for the right deck cost. Gotta hold on to Painkiller and Drilling Angel to attack and boost with later, so discard this guy. Right, Marin, Wing Over skill. I draw a card. The card I drew was a front trigger. Oh, come on, seriously? Fine, so go into battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, AK. The attack goes through, drive check. Drilling Angel, no trigger, okay. And boom, 1 damage, damage check. Yes, heal trigger, he wasted a trigger. Trigger effect wasted. And that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. Here it comes, my opponent's riding the Grade 2, Quagmire of Solid's Chaos. His Grade 1 skill, he reveals the Grade 3 Chaos and a critical trigger. Putting in the bottom of the deck, he calls Crimson Expeller, Piercing Assistant, and Flaming Pony, okay. Here comes the rear guard. Okay then, I got a critical and a front to guard with, so his rear guard attacks for 10,000, Vanguard for 10,000, and rear guard for 18,000. Chance of getting a trigger, so I guess I'll block the first attack and let the remaining 2 attacks go through. So, okay, I'm going to guard with a critical trigger. Yep, let's see. Yep, guarding with a critical, 23k, attack blocks. And safe, okay. Next up, Vanguard to Vanguard, 10k. No guard, take the hit. My opponent drive checks a... critical trigger, come on! Critical to Vanguard and power to his rear guard, okay. 28k now. Ow! 2 damage check first, no trigger, perfect guard, not good. And second check. Yes, heal trigger, just what I needed. Let's see, heal 1 damage, give power to my Vanguard. Back to 18k, now 28k to 18k. Crimson Expeller skill, he soul charges. Okay, what should I do? Should I guard with my last trigger or let the attack go through? I guess I should conserve my hand, so I guess I'll just let the attack go through, no guard. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. Fasado, okay. That's the end of my opponent's turn. My turn, stand and draw. I got K, okay. I'm gonna ride for my right deck, Blaster Dart. for the right deck cost. Let's see. I guess I'll hold on to Painkillers, use their skill to draw cards, and the Drilling Angels to attack whips. Hold on to the Perfect Guard and trigger to guard whip, so I'll just ditch K from my hand for the right deck cost. I ride Blaster Dart. And activating Merrin's skill. When reading the top of, check the top 7 cards of my deck for a Grade 2 Blaster. Nothing, so I shuffle my deck. And since nothing was added to my hand by the skill, I Superior Call Vanguard Brave from my soul to the rear guard. Then Blaster Dart skill, I Counterblast 1. And retire my Vanguard Brave to retire one of my opponent's rear guards. Alright, I retire, let's see, Piercing Assistant, or Crimson Expeller, or Flaming Pony. Alright. I'm gonna attack with 2 more front and rear guards boosted by 8,000 power, so I guess I'll just retire Flaming Pony, giving 1 drive to my Vanguard. Next, I'm calling to the rear guard, Drilling Angel skill. I send a card from my drop zone to my soul. I add Knight of Friendship K to the soul. Use a skill to check top 3 cards of my deck. Nothing, so just shuffle my deck. Alright, one more time. Drilling Angel, call, skill activated. I send Knight of Friendship K to my soul. And look at the top 3 cards of my deck. Yes, I got a K. Okay, then Superior Call K to the rear guard, to the right column. Next, I call Painkiller Angel to the center column. 1 more Painkiller Angel. Alright, that should do it. Go into battle phase. First up, boosted by... No, wait. Boosted by Painkiller. Blaster Dark attacks the Vanguard. 18k. The attack goes through. Twin Drive, first check. Perfect Guard. And second check. Grade 2, Drilling Angel, not bad. So, alright, 1 damage to my opponent. And slash, 1 damage check. No trigger, safe. Now boosted by Painkiller, my Painkiller skill, I Soul Blast 1, Knight of Friendship K, and retreat my boosted Painkiller Angel. I draw a card. The card I drew was... Critical trigger, not bad I guess, so boosted by Painkiller, Drilling Angel attacks the Vanguard, 18k. And my opponent guards have a critical trigger, okay, 25k, the attack is blocked. Then I'm gonna activate Painkiller Angel's skill. I going to Soul Blast Knight of Friendship K and retreat Painkiller from the rear guard. And draw 1 card. The card I drew was... Another Drilling Angel, not bad I guess, so now boosted by K, Drilling Angel attacks the Vanguard, 18k. And, okay, no guard, the attack goes through, 1 damage check, Perfect Guard, no trigger, nice. End of turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent's gonna ride the Grade 3, Chaos. And, okay, the Grade 2 skill. Soul charging his Vanguard skill. And okay, going to battle phase. And his Vanguard skill again. He's going to add power to Crimson Expeller, okay. Alright, gonna let the Vanguard stack go through, save my cards in my hand to guard the rear guard, so no guard. Key Twin Drives, first check, no trigger, save, and second check. Ah, critical trigger again! Alright, key criticals to Vanguard, power to Crimson Expeller, okay. Here it comes, 2 damage. And... Ow! Damage check first, no trigger, Knight Friendship K, and second check. No trigger, Perfect Guard, ah, not good. Alright, here comes the attack from Crimson Expeller. Skill, he soul charges, okay. Then I guard at the front trigger and intercept with Drilling Angel. Guard. Then my front trigger skill, plus 5,000 shield, attack blocked. That was close. Alright, then 1 more attack from the rear guard. Grade 2, Piercing Assistant, 10,000 power, okay. I'm going to conserve the Drilling Angels to attack with, so I'm just going to intercept with Drilling Angel, 15k in total. Attack blocked, I'm safe. Alright. That's the end of my opponent's turn. It's my turn, stand and draw. I drew a critical trigger, not good. I'm gonna ride for my right deck, Sword Saint Dragon, Gramgrace for the right deck cards. Okay. Gotta hold on to the 2 Great 2s to attack with my front row, so I'm just going to hold on to the Perfect Guards as well, so I'll just discard one of the criticals in my hand. I'm discarding Knight of Heavenly Hammer Gurgit for the right deck cost. Ride the Great 3. Sword Saint Dragon, Gramgrace. Gramgrace's skill. I Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and I draw 1 card. The card I drew was Pasado. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna Superior Call Pasado to the back row rear guard. Plus 10,000 power, can attack from the back row. Next, I call Drilling Angel to the rear guard. Drilling Angel skill. I move 1 card from my drop zone to my soul. Okay, I'm gonna move Painkiller Angel to my soul. And check the top 3 cards on my deck. No painkillers, so nothing. Shuffle the deck. Alright, I'm gonna call my Drilling Angel to the rear guard. Drilling Angel skill. Move a card from my drop zone to the soul. I'm moving another Painkiller Angel. Skill, check the top 3 cards on my deck. Still no painkillers. Skill fail. Okay. Then I'm gonna... Okay, I think that should be enough. Go into battle phase. First up, my rear guard, Drilling Angel attacks Crimson Expeller, 10k to 10k. The attack goes through, and boom, 1 rear guard down. Okay, next, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 13k. The attack goes through, Twin Drive, first check. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. I give the critical to my Vanguard and power the Drilling Angel. Critical and power added, okay. And second check, come on. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. I give the critical to my Vanguard and power to Pasado. No, wait, on second thought, I'm giving the power to Drilling Angel. Alright, critical added. Power added. 3 damage to my opponent. Here it comes. And here it comes, cut, slash, chop, and 3 damage first. Critical trigger, okay. He adds the effects to his Vanguard. Alright, and next up, second check, no trigger, and third check, no trigger, alright. 6 damage, I win. Huh, not too bad. My deck worked out pretty well. I've got some decent cards in my draws and managed to activate some decent skills, so okay. I got win, double critical, double trigger, 106 turns, did a superior call, drew 3 or more times in 1 turn, got 1900 VP, total 9125 VP. Okay, press A to go next. And return to the fight menu, leaving the fight menu, return to the main menu, back to the main menu, go to the edit deck menu, and with that, the deck's been built, card is displayed, and I just finished testing out the deck in front of you, so that's all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show your support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.